Bob, what preparation has your team put in for this weekend?
Tremendous amount, Christy. 3 weeks ago we had a major disaster at Canberra, rolled the car, and so as you might imagine within 3 weeks had to completely rebuild my car, so tremendous preparation. A little bit apprehensive because the car is so new in that sense.
Have you driven on this track and experienced how it seems to be just one corner?
No, I had a practice last night, as you say, different, like a big D, very loose, but we're hoping that it takes up a bit harder tonight.
Do you think you'll go okay in your events?
I think that we'll be there. We'll give them a run. It'll take a bit of learning, but I think the car's good enough, and I think experience will count in the long run.
Okay. Tanya, have you had any good wins lately?
Well, the last time we raced was 3 weeks ago, which was when I was defending the New South Wales title. And ran quite good down up there at Canberra. I had a win and a second in the heats. In the third heat I blew a diff, so I didn't even get to go in the feature. But my last race at home I won. Yeah.
What type of car are you racing at the Australian title this year?
We still have the VL Commodores that we had at last year's Australian title.
Have you driven on this track yet?
Only last night in practice, and it's different to what I've raced on before, but I don't know. We'll see if we can sort the cars out tonight.
How do you think you'll go this weekend?
Depends on whether we sort the cars out or not, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I've gained experience over the past year and a half. I've raced against a lot of the guys that are here, and I ran in the Victorian titles and was equal highest qualifier with Max Pahl, and I was happy with that effort. And I'm gaining more confidence in that as the time goes by. So I feel confident, but I don't know if I can win or not. But I'm going to try real hard.
Do you think you're at a disadvantage being a female against all the males?
Not at all, no. I work out really hard in the gym to make up for a bit of difference there as far as physical strength goes, but there's no other difference at all.
OK, Tanya, best of luck for the weekend. Thanks. Rick, you've travelled a long way from Tasmania. How long has it taken you to get here today?
It's taken us 3 days. We've come over and we've met up with Max Carling and we've come up with him. Yeah.
How did you travel over here?
Car came over by Holloman's on the boat, and then we flew over on Friday, plane, and then just travelled by road.
So you've only just recently, after last night's practice, experienced this track here?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
How did you find it?
When I first looked at it, I wasn't real sort of sure with it, but after I drove on it, I quite liked it. Yeah, it's different, and I think it'll be good.
How do you think you and your other Tasmanian counterpart over there will go this weekend?
I don't really know. We've got a lot of good competition, strong cars that we haven't come up against before. I'd like to think that we could do okay, yeah.
You're finding it very nerve-wracking having so many cars around?
I wouldn't say nerve-wracking, but yeah, you're probably right, yeah, nerve-wracking, yeah.
Wayne, it's a long hike all the way from Tasmania. How did you get here this weekend?
By car. Caught the boat to Melbourne and drove up in 2 days.
Did you find it was a long distance travelling?
Yeah, certainly a lot longer than what we used to over home. Drive 2 hours over home and you're from one end of the state to the other.
Do you think you find that driving for so long will mark you up for this weekend?
Not really, no. A fair bit of rest.
Is the car prepared for the racing this weekend?
Yeah. Yep, ready to go.
Tony, we noticed you're one of the few V modifieds in this title this year.
Yeah, it seems that way. I haven't seen any others up here. I suppose there are a few, but we hope to give them a good run. The A grade, if you call them that over here.
Okay, we noticed that the car is slightly in pieces at the moment. Will you be prepared for tonight's racing?
Yeah, we've got another couple of hours to do it, and I think we're only about an hour and a half away from it. We were told our bumper bars were 8 millimetres too wide, and we've got to change it all. It's nice hearing this at this time of the day.
How do you find racing on this track?
I've never raced here before. It's going to, haven't even seen the track. I haven't even got to actually look what shape it is yet. But we've been to new tracks before and gone all right, so it doesn't really make much difference.
How do you find your chances this weekend?
Depends on our draws. I think it's probably from anything like this. If you've got good draws through the heats and you get a good start in the final, you stay out of trouble. Well, I think only 6 finished last year in the Australian title, so you've got to be in there with a chance if you finish.
OK, Tony, best of luck for the weekend. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Warren, How do you think your Centura will compare with all the other cars here this weekend?
Well, we've done a lot of work on it, and it'll run with the best of them. It's a lot of luck, and you've got to keep it clean and neat, and if it goes right, we'll be up there. I'm quietly confident, so it'll be with the best of them.
Okay, we understand that you're the instigator of the Samper series.
Yeah, that's right. We've done a bit of groundwork and put together this 5-round series from various tracks, Mildura, Murray Bridge, Renmark, down to Bordertown next week, and yeah, 30-odd cars plus the locals. It's really been a good, successful series, and real good social aspect, good quality racing, and good for Speedway in general, so we're very happy with it. Everyone's asking about next year, so looks like it'll go again. So.
We have cars from all over Australia, and we have people up there in the crowd from all over Australia. I'd like to welcome them all here. I'd like to welcome all the drivers and hope that they have a good weekend of racing, good clean racing.
Let's get underway with the Australian Modified Production Championship happening here at Riverland Speedway. We have got a green flag, and we're definitely racing at this stage of the game with David Cox. He's got himself out in front, out of trouble there at the moment. And that's a nice place to be, but it's car number 7 who's come unstuck there. That's Jeremy McClure. Bring on a yellow. We've got a yellow light going, and they're coming out of that corner quite swiftly. And it's Dave Cox who's still there, and they all survive the first 2 corners. Well, what did I say? All survive? Almost. Laurie Wilson is one of the cars up against the wall there. Car number 43.
Well, it seemed to me over there that both Wilson and Walling sort of got locked together, and Walling was just dragged in as Wilson went into the wall. You can sort of even see the tyre tracks leading in there from here. They just...
And away we go again with David Cox out in front. Car number 69 up there in second place. That's Lindsay Hawkins in a flash-looking XF Falcon. He's coming right up behind David Cox, putting the pressure on and slotting in for third place. Harry Brazier, car number 21. Down the other end, we've got a couple of cars that just get moving as the rest of the field get up close to them. That's the green flag is dropped and the green light has gone on, and away we go. 57, David Cox. Lindsay Hawkins, the one moving up on the inside, would be one to watch. But also in there's Harry Brazier, car number 21. They're all moving very swiftly up there at the moment. Anthony Wilson's in there with a chance at the moment. Up there with the 4 of them. Oh, David Cox. Bang, crash. That's upset a few cars. Jeremy McClure. Lindsay Hawkins, car number 69, leads them out of turn 4, and the race or heat is underway again. Heat number 6, car 21, Harry Brazier back there in second place, followed along by car number 45, that's Anthony Wilson. 1, 2, 3. That's how they go at the moment. A little bit of a gap before we see Jeremy McClure. He's got Dave Redmond behind him, followed up by Rodney Opes. Here we go again with Mr. David Cox. Will he get himself off the track? He's away, but it's Lindsay Hawkins out in front. Top's having a few problems there, controlling it out of turn number 2. But don't worry about him. It's Lindsay Hawkins leading the way from Harry Brazier. And then Anthony Wilson. Brazier with Wilson right behind him. They survive out of turn number 2. Lindsay Hawkins. He's moving fairly well at about 16 and a half second laps being produced by Hawkins at the moment, and he's leading heat number 6, but right on his hammer it's Harry Brazier in car number 21. A little ways back it's Anthony Wilson. Those 3, here he goes again, David Cox, but he parks it up nicely in Anthony Wilson's road. Well, Wilson going wide, bang, crash. It had to happen sooner or later. The green has dropped, and Lindsay Hawkins off again up into the pit end corner. Hawkins doing it quite nicely again as we restart this race, but it is Harry Brazier right behind him, and Wilson's not much further back. And those 3 are followed by Dave Redmond, hanging on to position number 4, and then we've got Jeremy McClure a little way back. But the 4 front cars fairly tight at the moment. Car number 69, Lindsay Hawkins, moving out of turn number 2 down the back straight. Just a safe distance in front of Harry Brazier at this stage of the game. Yeah, moving quite nicely. No changes in those first 4 positions. Hawkins out in front, and times of just under 16 seconds, I reckon it is. 15.9. Really moving. That's Lindsay Hawkins out in front. Hawkins followed up by Brazier, Wilson, Redmond, and it's white flag time. Hooray, they say. White flag time. 1 lap to go for Lindsay Hawkins, Brazier, Wilson, and also Dave Redmond, and then Jeremy McClure. Right on that 16 seconds, and here he comes. The man of the moment, Lindsay Hawkins, the checkered flag. In for second was Harry Brazier, and Wilson, Anthony Wilson, over the line to grab that all-important 3rd position. Didn't have a 12-lap time for that, but at least we know Lindsay Hawkins can move very swiftly.
It's off the front's going to be tough, but Tony Wilson behind him, another of those storming escorts.
And away we go again. Brian Hayden in car number 58. Off very nicely from the start, but it is Lester Clements right behind him. And they're followed up by car number 45, Anthony Wilson. Seen Wilson in action before in the red escort. Wilson goes past Lester Clements, just nosing in front of him. Now Clements is front of them. It's tight as they come out of the very end corner. And it is car number 58 leading the way, Brian Hayden. He's in control at the moment, but for how long? Let's watch that. Car number 45, Anthony Wilson. It's Lester Clements who decides to try and go around the outside. Wilson's right behind him looking for something to happen so he can go past him on the inside. Brian Hayden still leading the way at the moment. Lester Clements, car number 1. And Anthony Wilson in car 45. They're taking off from the rest of the field at the moment. Clements goes up and high and wide. That gives Wilson a chance to come up a little closer to Brian Hayden. Then 4 back, we've got Paul Bink in the number 64 car. Martin Rams is behind him. And then Mal Pahl in 81. He's followed along by Rick Hunt in 79. And then chasing them all home is car number 53, Tony Lorenz. But up front, it is still car number 58, Brian Hayden. He's in front of Wilson. That's where the pressure is coming from. Wilson in car number 45, the Little Red Escort, doing quite well at the moment. Wilson clocking lap times of 16.4 seconds. So moving quite swiftly out there at the moment. But it is Brian Hayden is in the lead. Wilson tries to go up on the inside. He just manages to get the front of his nose about halfway down Hayden's car. But has to be content with that. What's going to happen as they come out of turn 4? It's still Brian Hayden out in front. Wilson still there. There we go. We've got 2 cars on the track right up by the pit gates. As we restart heat number 17, the Australian Modified Production Championship. And got a green light and away we go. Brian Hayden. Away we go. Anthony Wilson, Lester Clements, 1, 2, 3, that's how they go. Followed along by Pahl Bing. But it's Hayden. But just enough distance between him and Anthony Wilson and the rest of them to make things a little comfortable. Hayden, Wilson right up there amongst him. One runaway wheel. Everyone looks okay. There's Brian Hayden off on his merry way again. Anthony Wilson. Car number 45. Little Red Escort. Showing just what a mean machine that is at the moment. Brian Hayden, Anthony Wilson going neck and neck as they go into the bury-in corner, followed up by car 64. 1 lap to go, and it's Wilson out in front as they go out on their final lap in heat number 17. Anthony Wilson in car number 45. Brian Hayden, been there for a long time in 58, will have to be content with second place. But it's Wilson first across the line, followed by Hayden, and then Paul Bink in car number 64.
Tanya, last time I saw you racing was in Mildura last year for the Victorian titles. You did very well there, but not going so well over here.
No, we finished the first heat and we blew a gearbox and broke a tail shaft in the second heat, so I have only completed 1 round of heats, yeah.
If I remember rightly, in Mildura you did a gearbox, and I think you got onto the track with a couple of seconds to spare and ended up coming third.
Yeah, that's right. It was touch and go there for a while.
The Fielders team, in fact, not having a great weekend, with Bob Walling having a little bit of trouble last night as well.
Yeah, he had an altercation in the first heat and didn't finish either, but he got a second and a first, I think, so he'll make it into the feature all right, and his car's working really good, so I think he'll...
Yeah, I think Bob's in with a chance if he does all right tonight. What, 2 heats each tonight? You've got a big job ahead of you if you want to make the final.
Yeah, my best starts are tonight. I start off 2 and 6, so I just keep my fingers crossed and hope I keep out of trouble and finish well.
Well, we've seen you drive a lot before, and you're going to be pretty hard to toss starting up early in the grid. This track fairly small and tight, so it's a bit hard to get around a fast car at the front.
Yeah, the track's just so different to anything that we've raced on before, and you've got to get everything that you do has just got to be so right, or else you lose positions really fast. It's very difficult to drive on.
Rob, could you give us a quick rundown on how you went last night for the 3 heats?
Mixed bag. Crashed out in the first heat, which is not good. You can't have a non-finish, but got a 1-2, hanging in good results we need tonight.
Bob, we're a little bit worried you might not get going again after that, but you're renowned with your Fielders team for getting those cars back on the track.
Danny Smith is superb. He's a great engineer and a great car builder, and if he can't get us on the track, nobody can.
Well, Bob, good luck in your 2 heats tonight. We'd certainly like to see you there in the final.
I hope to be there and give it a good show. Congratulations to Renmark for putting on a pretty good show, I think. Thank you.
Right, Max Carlin from Hamilton, Victoria, races down at the Portland Club, going very well at the moment in the Australian titles for 1991.
Yeah, we're doing okay. A couple of seconds in the 4th, so we're up there with them so far.
Max, the thing I noticed about you is you're a lot more aggressive into the opposite corner to the pit end than a lot of drivers. You sail into that corner and pick up a lot of ground. That's going to be a great help tonight when you start 2nd and 8th.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, it should be. We hope.
In the Victorian title, Max, you were doing pretty well and had it all sewn up, but a bit of bad luck back there in January.
Yeah, we picked up a something off the track and got a flat tyre.
Let's hope something like that doesn't happen to you tonight and that you've got 3 races left to go.
Yeah, let's hope so.
2 of the favourites for the Australian title in Renmark for 1991 are the Brims brothers from up northern New South Wales. Ross, first of all, you're a past champion, I think winning the title in Mildura a couple of years ago. How are you situated at this particular one?
Yeah, well, not too bad so far. I've had a few dramas with tyres setting up, but I changed the diff ratio, so hopefully tonight might come good.
That finish over in Mildura a couple of years ago was one of the strangest finishes I've seen in a big title meeting particularly. Did you know that you'd won it when you came across the line?
Yeah, I knew I'd won it. I'd got a clear win there for a couple of 100 metres.
I think it was the cars behind you that were causing all the trouble. I think your brother Ian was one of those. Did you know what position you came in, Ian, when you finished in that race?
Well, I thought I'd finished second, but we sort of had a bit of a clash together with another car, and we went on to the infield and back out again, and I didn't know whether I would be disqualified or not, so we just had to wait and see what would happen.
And here tonight, you're fairly equal with Ross at the moment in the points?
Yeah, we're both on equal points at the moment.
I don't know if it's organised that way, but I think you've both raced against each other in every heat, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. There's only one heat that we won't be racing together.
And that'll be later on tonight. And Ian, I guess hopefully you're going to turn the tables on brother Ross tonight.
Oh, well, I don't know, but I'll do my best anyway.
OK, thanks, fellas, and the best of luck to the both of you for later on tonight. Lester Clements is the current Australian #1. Lester, you're not going quite so well at this stage. You've got 2 heats left to go. Let's hope you can make up the points.
I'll be trying real hard. I've had a little bit of problem. I had a bit of an out at Canberra 2 weeks ago, and I had to cut the car off at the front of the firewall. And being a fellow that does long-distance truck driving, I've been away for that fortnight, and I've given it to somebody else to, do this job. Pick the car up and bring it down here untested, untried, undone anything with, and it's not working as the way it should be working. And all we can do is just pedal on and do the best we can.
Lester, I guess nobody knows better than you how hard it is to pass somebody when they get out in front on this track, as was shown in the first heat last night with young Martin Hawson.
Yes, well, I found the track is a little bit single lane in a lot of areas, and it doesn't help the guys that want to hook up and go hard around the outside. And the way they watered it last night, I'm not opposed to them watering it, but they watered the low line very heavily, and also kept water up on the high line and wouldn't allow any bite to come in there. If there had been equal bite on the outside, you would have seen a whole different night's racing.
Right, of course, you're not unused to this standard of racing because it's your home track. You race the likes of Walling, Peacock and the Brims brothers, I believe, regularly.
Yes, we do. We're always mixing with them and quite enjoy it, and they're good fun to go racing with. They're good hard peddlers. Certainly
great competitors to see over here, and we hope that you do well on those 2 heats tonight and are out there to defend your title. I think you get a run anyway, don't you, if you don't qualify with the points?
Yeah, so I get the good start from the back of the field, no problem. I know I'm going to start there, so I've got to try and improve the group position, that's all.
Well, it's a long race, so even if you are at the back there, anything could happen before you finish. I think it's 30 laps or so, so best of luck, Lester, for tonight.
Yeah, there's a 40 lapper, actually, and at the end of the race, all the titles I've been to, they've only ever finished the most cars ever been 9, so it's a part of survival apart from just the race.
Maybe it'd pay to hang around for 20 minutes and just wait for the others to knock themselves out.
Lady luck's got to sit on your shoulders or else you really haven't got a chance, and that's been proven before. Most of the guys I've seen win titles have often picked it up through misfortune of other people's along the line, and that's happened so many times it doesn't matter.
Right, Lester, thanks very much.
Coming around for a start, there's the green and they're away. And the man who started on pole position, Dave Redman, in car number 4, he was 7th after last night's heats. But we've got the fielder's bred car, and that's moving quite well out there at the moment. Tanya Peacock, car number 41. She shows that she's meaning business tonight. Didn't put too many points on the scoreboard last night, but maybe tonight she'll get them. Tanya ended up with some 10 points into the wall over there. And Tanya, but we know who she is. Tanya Peacock leading them into the green flag as we restart heat number 20. Dave Redman right behind her in car number 4. He would be anxious or trying very hard to get lots of points here. Paul Salou moved up into 3rd place in car number 52. Sitting behind him, Speed Blackburn in car number 22. And Darren Cockle is over there at the moment. And come to an abrupt halt.
Looks like David Cox again had a lose, caused a bit of mayhem down there in the
west end of the track. Leading them out of turn 4 as we get heat number 20 restarted again. Tanya Peacock, Dave Redmond, Pahl Salou, and they're followed up in position number 4 by Steve Blackburn. So those 1, 2, 3, 4 battling it out, and next comes Rodney Oates. And behind Rodney Oates we've got car number 49, Brian Telford, and then David Cox, followed by Darren Cockerell, and finally chasing them all home Silver Tirana, owned by Jason, or driven by Jason Wright. Up front, first 4 cars still in those same positions as we started for the restart in heat number 20. Tanya Peacock moving quite swiftly out there at the moment on 16, or producing 16-second laps. So certainly keeping the pressure on Dave Redmond. If he has got any ideas of getting past Tanya, the car really flying out there at the moment. Tanya Peacock, Dave Redmond, Pahl Salou, and then we've got a little bit of a gap before we see Steve Blackburn. Here we go again. Darren Cockerell ends up centre field in a pile of dust, but it's not going to upset the rest of the field. Tanya Peacock's on her merry way with Redmond still behind her and Salou sitting back there in 3rd place. They're the ones to watch. 1, 2, 3. Heat number 20. Peacock in the fielder's bred car. Fielder's fresh bred, I must tell you. Darren Cockerell back out on the track. And Tanya continuing to do better times, 15.8. Really moving fast. Of course, those other cars keeping right up with her, so they must be producing the good times as well. Here's Tanya Peacock. Out in front, Dave Redmond right behind her, Pahl Salou. Wow, look at him go. Peacock coming out of turn 4. She's still leading the way. Got this race. Has she got it under control? Redmond tries to go through on the inside, and he's successful. Peacock slowing right down there. Something obviously causing a big problem. Car just not going anymore. Slowing right down. Redmond out in front. Now that gives Salou a chance to move up into 2nd place. Smoke galore coming out of car number 22. That's Steve Blackburn. Heaps of oil. That's Redmond coming out of turn 4. He'll take the checkered flag from Pahl Salou. And then 3rd over the line, Jason Wright. Terrible bad luck for Tanya Peacock. Jason's okay car, probably not too good under there. Guys, congratulations, you've done well. Well done, fellas. Give them a hand.
Jacob will lead them away, I'm sure of that.
It looks good. A green light. Jacobson off. Right from the word go, but right there behind him and now alongside of him, it is Peter Dowling in car number 61. The pace is really on as they move into the very end corner. Slow down a little bit and away we go again. Dowling out in front of Jacobson in 76. And then, not too much of a gap, we've got Ross Brims in car number 71, followed up by Marty Rams in car 18. Another one of the locals is there, and that's car number 66, Rodney Oates, being followed along by 44, Warren Meisner, and then 21, Harry Brazier, but up front, it is car 61. Well, what a start. Jacobson was there, Dowling was there, but now Dowling's leading the way in heat number 28. And they're starting to sort themselves out now. But the pressure's on for the first 2 drivers. Car number 61, Peter Dowling from Victoria, and right behind him, Peter Jacobson, and then Ross Brims. Brims is keen to have part in the action. Next up, we see Rodney Oates and also Martin Rams. But there, 4 or 5 back from the start. Leading the race, still Peter Dowling from Victoria. Moving quite well into the heading corner, down the back straight. He's got it all worked out, but what's happening back in the field? There's all sorts of things going on there. Warren Meisner going through on the inside, but Harry Brazier is up against the fence. Green light. Dowling naturally leads the way on the restart of heat number 28, but not too far behind him. It's Peter Jacobson in car number 76. The white Cortina with the black bottom takes it out very wide, and that gives car 71, Ross Brims, a chance to look after position number 2. No doubting Peter Dowling's ability at this stage of the game. He's still out in front. Brims up in second place. Peter Jacobson would not be happy. After him, got car 44 by Warren Meisner, and then Dave Redman. 5 back. Harry Brazier, 6 back from the lead. Dowling producing times of 16 seconds. So moving quite well. 16 seconds the last time around for Peter Dowling. Leading away, 61 lead, 71, and that's Ross Brims. And then Peter Jacobson in third place. And Brims both producing in 16-second laps. They've got that distance between them though. So as long as Peter Dowling can keep cracking his 16-second laps, the others aren't going to catch up to him. White flag is out, and it is Peter Dowling leading the rest of the field in heat number 28. Dowling from Ross Brims and Peter Jacobson back there in third place. Checkered flag, and it is car number 61 driven by Peter Dowling first across the line. Ross Brims is the second one to the checkered flag, and Peter Jacobson is the third one to make it to the checkered flag in heat number 28.
Right, this is a do-or-die 12-lap repechage. Only 3 cars can make it into the final. Off pole we have Hinds, then Rickett, then Hawson, the Queenslander Brazier, Ian Brims, New South Wales, McCarthy, Calderwood, Colleen, all from Victoria. Pahl, another Queenslander, McLaughlin from Tassie, Laidlaw from Victoria, Stewart, a South Australian, then the local Rick Gibbs, and lastly Paul Egan from the ACT. OK, let's let them run.
So they're ready to go. 16 laps, and there's the green. They're away. 14 cars in the repechage. Number 38, Russell Hine. We don't get very far at all. It's David Rickett got caught up there with 73. 73 is Martin Mawson. And David Rickett. Russell Hine, car number 38, first into turn 1. Around we go again. Rickett's up against the fence, but there's more action down closer to the infield. Watch for the green. Russell Hind away again into that first corner. We get tied up there again with David Rickett. He's been in a similar sort of position before, perhaps a little further around out of turn 2. Now watch for the green. There it is, and they're away. Again with Russell Hine. Let's watch him go into this corner. Russell elects to go out wide. Sorry, that's David Rickett. It's Russell Hine who's got control up front in car number 38. Next along is Martin Hawson in 73, and then a very swift-moving number 55, Gary Pahl. Pahl, yeah, pushing his way through there, but it's Hines out in front. Russell Hine in 38, car number 55, Pahl moves into second place. 73's in there, moving into third place. That's Martin Hawson. How long's Hawson going to stay there? He's leading the second bunch of runners. He's got car 55 Kim Colleen. Right behind him, up on the outside is 75, Ian Brims. And car 21's also in there, that's Harry Brazier. There's two guys up front. I want to make sure they're in the big final, driving very hard. Car number 73 is the third one there at the moment. That's Horson. And he'll want to hang on to that third place. That's the cut-off point. But out in front, Russell Hines in car number 38. They're doing it in 17 seconds, so not really speedy. Not cracking the 16s or getting under the 16 seconds. Hines still out in front in car number 38. Not far behind him. Car 55, Gary Pahl, and still sitting there in third place. Car number 73 is Horson. Hines, Pahl, Horson. And then after that, car 51, Kim Colleen. Would be keen to get up a little closer. Behind Colleen, Wayne McLaughlin. So let's just watch these two front runners at the moment, and we'll see what changes further back in the field. Russell Hines still out in front with the pressure being applied by car number 55, or the driver, Gary Pahl. So they're still running. Back there in third place, car number 51. Kim Colleen now moved up there to look after that position. Colleen had won to stay there. He wants to be involved in the final. That's what he's out there racing for. Half a lap in front of the rest of the field. It is car number 38, Russell Hines, with 55 still right on his hammer. Gary Pahl sitting back there. 16.8, so they're moving a little faster at this stage of the game. Hines, Pahl, 1, 2, and then back there in third place, Kim Colleen. 1, 2, 3, that's all that they're going to get into the final. But in fourth position, it is car number 73, Martin Horson, and he's leading a bunch of them. Horson gets a bit of a bump from car number 54, and finds himself up in the middle of the field, middle of the track. Hines still leading it. White flag, 1 lap to go. Looks like it'll be Hines and Pahl. Half a lap to go for them. Hines, Pahl, and in third place. There we are, checkered flag. No doubt about Hines and Pahl in there for third place. I reckon it's car number 51, and that's Kim Colleen. Hines, Pahl, Colleen. We will check that out for you, definitely.
The finalists: Paul Salou, Victoria; Ross Brims, Queensland; Rod Brody, New South Wales; Dave Redmond, South Australia; Peter Dowling, Victoria; Graham West, Victoria; Kim Webber, South Australia; Russell Hinds, Queensland; Peter Jacobson, Victoria; Kim Colleen, Victoria; Peter Evans, South Australia; Tony Wilson, Victoria; Paul Bink, ACT; Max Carlin, Victoria; Lindsay Hawkins, Queensland; Bob Walling, New South Wales; Jeremy McClure, New South Wales; Warren Meisner, South Australia; Chris Topp, Queensland; Gary Pahl, Queensland; and the backmarker Lester Clements, New South Wales. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Gee, the backmarkers have got a lot of work to do, Barry, to catch up. Yellow lights on, Barry, so get... And they're away! And we are certainly off. Let's watch that first corner. Let's see what happens. Evans goes out wide. So So from position number 2, very quickly, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back and getting hemmed in there. Evans between Brady and also Paul Bink. Paul Salou out in front, right from the word go. Uh-oh, what's happening over there? Car number 77 going over the track. That's actually Ross Brims. 77 on the car, but 71 on the route. He controls it. Salou way out in front. He's put a bit of distance between him and his nearest contender, and that's young Anthony Wilson in the number 45 car. Salou in car number 52, followed up by Wilson, Anthony Wilson in a 45. Behind him, we've got car number 32. That's Mark Pahl, who's looking after third place. Then comes Evans. It's Peter Evans in car number 52. And we'll get a time, see what Salou is actually doing a lap in. We're all out there still. Salou leading away. That's Paul Salou gaining 145 points to put him on pole position. And he's used that to perfection so far. Car number 56, Graham West, slowing down over there and taking the high line, just moving at the moment. But Salou out in front with Anthony Wilson back in second place. West still moving slowly. Salou goes through on the inside. Anthony Wilson, then comes Mark Pahl, 32. He's 3 back. Right behind him is 71, and that's Ross Brims. Behind Brims, we've got car number 62, Peter Evans. 5 back. Salou moving around, completing laps at the rate of 16.8 seconds per lap. He's got the rest of the field behind him in car number 52. Let's watch for the movement out there. Still, Anthony Wilson sitting in second place in car number 45. And then Pahl in car number 32, sitting back in third place. Behind Pahl, number 71, Ross Brims. And Pete Evans, still 4 back. Dave Redmond's 5 back. And then we've got a little bit of a break before we see the Fielder's Fresh Bread car, and that's Bob Walling. And behind him, we've got Peter Jacobson in 76. Max Carlin is there in car number 12 as well. Rod Brady's moved on to the infield in car number 3. Looks like he's given it up. But it is car number 52 still out the front. His best time, 16.5. Catching up to the rear enders, and it's car number 69, Lindsay Hawkins, but still moving slowly is Graham West. He'd be the last car at this stage of the game. Paul Salou out in front, about a quarter of a lap ahead of his nearest contender at this stage of the game, and that is Anthony Wilson, car number 45. Car 32 still back there in third place and looking after it quite nicely. Mark Pahl, 71 still there. Ross Brims and Peter Evans, Dave Redmond, Bob Walling, and they are being chased along by car number 76, Peter Jacobson. Jacobson, 76. Really slowing down there, but he's off again. It is Salou, 16.8 for that last lap. Anthony Wilson still sitting back there in second place. Is Salou going to try and thread his way through the rest of the field, or will he be content to sit back? I reckon he'll go for it, put that safe distance between him and the rest of the field. But it's one of those gambles you take, I guess. Do you take on the rest of the field? Wilson moving around in 16.5 seconds. Salute. Right up there behind the tail enders. Some of them driving a little untidy at this stage. He might be just wise to sit back there. Still got a quarter of a lap or so on Anthony Wilson in car number 45. Then Pagle's still back there in third, par ace. Pagle's now stuck in the middle. That gives car number 62, Evans, chance to come up and look after that all-important third position. Salou now getting in amongst the field. He's gone past car 69, Lindsay Hawkins. Car number 45 still back there in second place. Followed along by 62, that's Pete Evans. And then 71, Pahl. And then the fielder's fresh bred car. Salou. Car 52. In amongst it. Making things interesting. Still keeping his distance in front of the second car number 45, Anthony Wilson. Moving along quite well. Wilson's got something to worry about now. Evans decides he's going to go for it. Buttons off slightly. It's Wilson, Evans. Wilson still in second place. Evans right into the infield. Doesn't gain any advantage though. He's still behind Wilson. Car number 71 is right on Peter Evans' hammer. Another one decides to call it a day. That's Russell Hines. Also moves infield. We've got 4 cars that have moved infield. Number 64, Paul Vink, also moving very slowly. But car 45 finds himself facing the wrong way.
Watch them as they come into the main straight.
And they're away. Ready for some more action. Closer to that result with Paul Salou, the race leader at this stage. The car behind him has been lapped. So although chasing Salou is 1 lap down, actually car number 32 is looking after second place this stage of the game, and that is Pahl, Mark Pahl, car number 32. And then behind him we have got Peter Evans in car number 62. He's moved up and managed to pass Anthony Wilson, who was looking after that Pahl ace. Looks like car number 33, Bob Walling, has also called it a day and moves infield. Car 56 just doing laps around there at the moment. That's Graham West, not really part of the rest of it. But Paul Salou still leading the way. Peter Evans has now moved up into second place. He's followed up by Ross Brims, 71. So Pahl has dropped out of that second place this stage of the game. Now it is still Paul Salou, car number 52, leading the way. Evans has moved up into that all-important second place. 10 laps to go. The Australian flag is out for the first time. Car number 69, Hawkins. Lindsay Hawkins also calling it a day. He'd been lapped. But Paul Salou leading away. 62 is the second one. That's Peter Evans. He sort of drifted back into the field, but now has got him to that all-important second place. Right behind him, 71, Ross Brims. They're followed up by Dave Redman and car number 76, Peter Jacobson. They are the front runners. Salou still out in front, leading the way. Quite a handy sort of distance between him and the rest of the field, and in particular Peter Evans in car number 62. Right behind him, 71, that's Ross Brims. Dave Redman also hanging in there along with Peter Jacobson, but it's Salou still leading the way in the Australian Modified Production Championship. And over they go.
One over.
One, two, wheels everywhere, and we come to an abrupt halt.
Well, cars were racing so close together there for so long, something had to happen, and here it is, it's happened.
Warren Meisner out of his car, number 44, very quickly.
Have to say, I really didn't see what happened there, Barry, but boy, to see two cars go over, and 3 or 4 sideways, certainly those 3 or 4 there were racing very, very closely together.
Well, they certainly were.
And now we're going to certainly have a couple more cars out. After that stoppage, watch them as they come around. There's the green, they're away.
And Paul Salou's on his way again and getting a little closer to that all-important championship. Everyone survives the first corner and the second one, and we're on our way once again in the Australian Modified Production Championship. Some 7 laps to go. Paul Salou, and very close behind him is car number 62, Peter Evans. Oops, a bit of a hole there. Salou doing a bit of a bounce, but he survives that. Car 71, and that's Ross Brims. He's moved up into second place. Peter Evans has got lost back there. A couple of cars moving past him, one of them being Dave Redman, and also car number 76, Peter Jacobson. But it's 5 laps to go. There's the flag again. And Salou's still out in front. Paul Salou in car number 52. Right on his hammer is Ross Brims in car number 71. Dave Redman has moved up into third position with car 76. Peter Jacobson 4 back from the leader. 5 back is Peter Evans in car number 62. Then a little bit of a break. Evans, yep, he's controlled it. A little bit of a break before we see Kim Weber. And car 55, Gary Pahl, is right behind him. But up front it is Paul Salou, still leading the way in the Modified Production Championship. Salou, followed up by Brims, Redman, and then Peter Jacobson. Salou seems to be finding all those holes out there at the moment. Something's come unstuck for Salou, going way back in the field. There goes Carlin in field, but he survives. 1 lap to go, and who's it going to be? Will it be Ross Brims? Will it be Dave Redman? Who's going to be the first over the line? The checkered flag is out, and it's Dave Redman in front of car number 71, Ross Brims. So that's car number 4, Dave Redman, first across the line, taking out the Australian Modified Production Championships over 4 laps. Redman followed up by Brims. And you saw it all happening here at the Riverland Speedway.
Well, what about that for a finish, Dave Redman? But boy, but put your hands together for Dave Redman, local guy, came good, winning the Australian Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, we've raced 2 nights, some 30 heats, and a 40-lap final to get a result tonight. Taking out the 1991 Australian Modified title from Waikerie, Dave Redman.
I'd like to thank Riverland Speedway for putting on a wonderful meeting and a brilliant track. I didn't expect it to do that. I thought it was going to go black a lot earlier. And I thank my pit crew, Deborah, Garvin, Dale, anyone else that's helped, Rags, sponsors, hook, line and sinker. If you didn't buy me that tyre today, John, I don't know what would have happened.
Dave Redman, Ross Brims, Peter Evans. Ladies and gentlemen, your top 3.
Dave Redman, new Australian Modified champion, half an hour off the track. How does it feel?
Feels good. We didn't really know what the chances were. We kind of thought we had a little bit of a chance, but it's all come together tonight.
Certainly starting off 9 on the grid. There were a lot of fast cars in front of you. You obviously stuck to a bit of a plan. What was that?
We went out with a plan that kind of to try and stay in touch with the front runners for the first half of the race, and then see where we go from there. And if we can stay with them, try and beat them in the last half.
Well, you certainly proved that. The last lap, pretty telling. Front runner went out, and you managed to put a big move on the new leader. It was an excellent job. Tyres, engine, fuel. What was the biggest thing, do you think, that paid dividends for you?
Oh, the whole combination, really. The tyres went well, actually, and the engine, fuel, the whole lot was good. The crew put in all the work in the last week or two, and you know, we just done it.
Yeah, without a good crew, you can't get it on the track. Dave Redman, new Australian champion. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
From South Australia, 77, car number 77 on pole position, and then it's Mean Being Green, ain't it? Ian Calderwood, car number 13, Mean Being Green, and also having to carry that number 13 in position number 2. Peter Harvey's not there. Darryl McGrath slots into position number 3. Peter Graham goes into 4 from New South Wales. Ron Balshaw from South Australia in car number 2 slots or drops back down in position number 5. Well, looks like we should have a start this time, and we'll see what happens. Green flags out. It is Tony Jones off to a very good start, but the little green machine is doing quite well on the outside, showing the way at the moment. That's Ian Calderwood all the way from Victoria, leading this heat number 4 at the moment. A bit of water out there makes things a little different. Tony Jones having a few problems as he comes into the pit end corner, and doing a complete 360 there did Tony Jones, and we managed not to mangle anyone up too much, so I guess we'll get this one restarted. That's heat number 4. A little bit of water making some difference out there at the moment.
I would suggest Tony Jones in the 77 car will be asked to put himself at the back of the field for that one. He went around. But gee whiz, that little front-wheel drive Mitsubishi Colt, it's certainly not the quickest thing out there, but oh gee, it stays down low on the pole, and it's going to be awful tough to get by.
Well, like you say, with the front-wheel drive, Peter, he's going to go no matter what his time is, and the problem's going to be for other guys to get around. But I don't think he's going to hold the field up too much. You just watch him. Last night, I remember one year up here, one of the drivers called me over, and I said, "What's the matter?" He said, "Just put your arm inside here a minute." Well, what's he talking about? And he slipped a tire lever up my shirt.
And all lined up, ready to go again in heat number 4 with Ian Calderwood leading the way in car number 13. I managed to get around past the pit end corner this time, but a few problems over there for Noel McGrath, who's moved right infield, now settling things down, but it's Ian Calderwood followed up by Peter Jacobson, moved up there very quickly to look after second place. Paul Sheen is back there in third place, but watch Jacobson, he's got things under control there at the moment, going around on the outside and takes control of the lead early in this race. Paul Sheen, 3 back, they're followed along by Mal Pahl in car number 81. You won't find him in your program, but he's definitely out there. Ron Balshaw, 5 back. What's Mal Pahl doing there at the moment? Checking out the infield. He causes a couple of other cars to also check out the infield as well. Meanwhile, it's Jacobson out in front in car number 76. Yellow light is on.
I was fairly amazed with the forward charge of Mal Pahl. He started at the back as a late nomination in the JMA Engineering Cortina. He'd got the thing up to 4th, crossed it up between 3 and 4. That caused Murphy and also the brown and blue painted car there as well to get extremely crossed up. That's Darryl McGrath. I would suggest Pahl will go to the back for causing the yellow light. But, gee, I'm quite impressed with this Low and Steel Constructions car from Portland, this little Mitsubishi Colt. The drivers are fairly concerned by it. It gets into the turns very square, and right in the centre of the turn, he really throws the back out to put himself onto a square line, and the guys trying to lap him or get by him are having all sorts of bother because the back of the car's stepping out at a really funny time for him.
Well, don't forget he's driving the front of the car, and like you say, he's squaring the car, but it's pushing out on the corners.
His
racing incident and fairness.
Okay, we'll go with Mal's call.
Here, away we go again. Peter Jacobson out in front. It's given the other cars a little bit of a chance to move up closer to them, but Jacobson, he's right off with it. Paul Sheen in there, looking after second place. Pahl causing a few problems for Ian Calderwell. Calderwell rather goes into Pahl slots up into third place. Calderwell back there in fourth position, followed along by Ron Bowshaw. Right behind Bowshaw, we've got Noel McGrath, I think it is, in the yellow car. Number 46 is. Bowshaw has to be content with running behind him. He's followed along by car number 74, Stephen Murphy. And then we finally come across our Riverlander, car number 18. That's Martin Rowe, and way back there, chasing them all home at this stage, car number 8. And the driver there is Richard, you name it, G-Batch. But up in front, let's have a look what's happening there. Bill Peter Jacobson leading the way, Paul Sheen quite a ways back in second place, and then Pahl turns himself into a cloud of steam, and still moving along there at the moment. That's Pahl, and we've got our race leader at the moment, Peter Jacobson, just cracking 17 seconds, is that right? Yeah, that's what he did that last lap. Peter Jacobson out in front, and we've got a few cars there at the rear, but it's Peter Jacobson leading the way at the moment in car number 76. Paul Sheen, car number 16, looking after second place, with Jacobson who's taking on the tail end of the game. Jacobson, Paul Sheen has a little look infield, and Jacobson still cracking that 17 seconds for a lap at the moment. Not really pushing it, but driving steadily, using 17-second laps here at the moment in Heat 4. Jacobson, then back there in second place, still Paul Sheen, now Paul, and then comes car number 13, Ian Calderwood. Looking for the white flag at this stage of the game. Be Peter Jacobson, who's on his final lap in heat number 4, still producing those consistent times of 17 seconds. Peter Jacobson about a half a lap to go, and he'll have the maximum points for heat number 4. There he goes, over the line, and in for second will be Paul Sheen, car number 16. Third across the line will be car number 13, and that's Ian Calderwell in the green machine, and Pahl, I reckon, would have cracked a 4. But Peter Jacobson, car number 76, with some very consistent laps there, or consistently producing 17-second laps, taking out heat number 4.
I would certainly say there's a couple of guys out there with problems. I think Marty Rams may have a diff problem. I noticed a lot of smoke coming out, particularly on the exit of...
For that green light, the cars are forming up nicely, and there they are. And well away, the green flag has dropped, and it is Blackburn off to a good start. He's on the outside, though. Martin Rams has the inside running, and then back behind them, we've got Paul Bink, who's looking after the third position at the moment, but on the outside, car number 22, Steve Blackburn, driving up very high and very wide, but he's
He's in front, he's in control at the moment. Coming in shallow as he comes around the very end corner. Blackburn in front, Martin Rams in there for second, and they're followed up by Paul Bink in car number 64. Next up is Martin Horson, a little way back from the first three.
Blackburn with a 16.5 for Blackburn.
He's close to that 16-second lap, just 0.5 of a second out of it. And the rest of our field's spread out at the moment. But it is Paul Bink who's slotted into second place in front of Martin Rams. Still Blackburn really using that number 2 position to perfection to get out in front very early.
Paul Bink also with a 16.5, so they're really moving this time, Barry.
And you obviously see what Paul Bink has achieved by moving up into second place in front of Rams, and then 4 back, car number 61, Peter Dowling. He leads the next lot of them, but it is Blackburn. He's out in front. Followed up by Paul Bink, Martin Rams, Peter Dowling.
Peter Dowling with a 16.1. He's a big mover.
And then we've got Webber in there taking him on at the moment in car number 27. Peter McCarthy getting a little anxious there in car number 68. Nothing's changed as far as the lead is concerned at the moment, but look at Peter Dowling moving up there. He's cruised nicely into third place at the moment. Car number 61. Still Blackburn out in front. Well, looked as though he was going up horribly high, or in full control, but he's recovered quite well. Blackburn followed up by Peter Dowling back there in car number 61, but it's Paul Bink, the one who's really going to worry Blackburn at this stage of the game. Dowling's 3 back. Blackburn still leading the way, has things under control at the moment, but going out very wide and confusing all of this track at this stage of the game. Got a time for Dowling there?
16.2 for Dowling, 16.2.
He's moving along quite nicely. Phil Blackburn, Paul Bink, Dowling, and the white flag is out. Only 1 lap to go for Blackburn. That's Steve Blackburn from Queensland. After the start-finish line, we see Martin Orson get pushed into the centre, but up the other end, the very end corner, here is car number 22, Steve Blackburn. He comes out and takes that one out from car 64 and then 61. Paul Bink in for second place and Peter Dowling in for third.
Blackburn finishing up with a 16.2. Bad luck for Kim Webber. And car number 73 is Marty Horson as they tangled, and Webber will go around to at least get himself a finished position. I'm not too sure.
Good for another one tonight. Yes, certainly looking flash. We've got a yellow light flashing as we move into heat number 21, doing it for Paul Dempsey Yamaha, and it is Paul Bink from the pole position, using his position nicely. Comes out of turn number 2 with car 13. Right behind him, the little green mean machine doing quite well out there at the moment. That's Ian Calderwood sitting in second place at the moment. Car 53, Tony Lorenz was about 3 back, but we do have a few cars sort of all piled up there on the pit end corner. Turn number 1. Up there with the top runners after last night, but he's back rear of field as we get our heat number 21 underway again with car 64, Paul Bink, leading the way and still followed along by Ian Calderwell in car number 13. We'll see who can manage to follow those up. Here is car 53, Tony Lorenz. Lorenz goes out wide. That gives car number 23, Chris Topp, a chance to move in there, but Webber also wants a part of the action. He's not being, or isn't content with sitting back in the field. like to grab a few more points. And still is Paul Bink leading the way with Ian Calderwell in the little green Mitsubishi Colt, moving quite well back there in second place. Brian Hayden, car number 58, looking after the third position, but the pressure coming from Webber. Hayden comes down from the outside line. That puts a bit of pressure on Webber. He didn't have anywhere to go. We'll see what happens this time around. Still Paul Bink out there, leading the way. Ian Calderwell, but Bink looks as though he's got this one all under control at this stage of the game. And producing a good time there, about a 16.1. Paul Bink, close to the 16 seconds, leading the way and producing a good time. Ian Calderwell still sitting back there in the Mitsubishi Colt, and Webber now looking after the third position in heat number 21. Bink just too good for the rest of them. Chris Top trying, and Bink still producing those good times of 16 seconds, moving quite swiftly and keeping in front of Ian Calderwell. Webber, car number 27, still there behind the Mitsubishi Colt, can't get past him. Chris Top has moved up into fourth position with car 45. Anthony Wilson moved quite well from the back of the field. Webber also moving quite well out there at the moment with his 16-second lapse. Car 53, Tony Lorenz pulls infield. Looks like we've got a little bit of a problem with radiators or water, steam coming out there. Paul Bink could be happy to see that white flag. 1 lap to go, but he's doing it quite easy. No pressure on as Paul Bink goes around the back straight into turn 3 and 4, and then he'll be home and hosed to take the checkered flag in our third heat here tonight. Followed up by car number 13, Ian Calderwood, and Kim Webber taking third place. That's in heat number 21.
Great racing up at the moment. Ross Brims in 71 got an excellent chance sitting there on the pole.
Max Carlin producing some good efforts last night, ended up with 73 points. He's what you could call midfield. He won Ross Brims on pole position, and he'll use that very well. Yellow light, and we're about to go. Heat number 23, car 71, Ross Brims.
Oh, we have one down on the pit gate.
Bingle-bangle up there.
Max Carlin really hooked up there on the car, sitting on top of the bonnet at this stage. We're in about 5 cars wide, just about going through that pit gate corner, and just not wide enough to get through.
34, Stephen Laidlaw anxious to get in there. Looks like they got him apart. Stephen ended up with 42 points after last night's racing and heats. Car 51's out there as well, Kim Killeen. So quite a variation of points there. So those with the lower points would be anxious to heat more on, and those with a reasonable amount of...
With 81 Mal Paul, the addition. So cars coming around for a complete restart. The yellow flashing light in a minute, the green, and we're away.
And Ross Brims off again in heat number 23. He's followed along by car number 32, Mark Pahl from Queensland, just sitting in there calmly at the moment. 77, Tony Jones is 3 back, and then we see car number 51, Kim Killeen, 4 back from the start. Tracy Opes way behind the rest of them at the moment. So it is Ross Brims in 71 in front of Mark Pahl in 32. Kim Colleen is anxious to get up into third position, and he's done that quite nicely, thank you. Moves in front of Tony Jones. So we'll just see what sort of mood Kim Colleen's in at the moment. He looks as though he wants to go. And that is what is happening. Tracy Opes still way back there this stage of the game in car number 6. Be terrible if she come unstuck in front of Ross Brims, car number 71. Mark Pahl still back there in second position with Kim Colleen right behind him at the moment as they come out of the very end corner. Colleen moving in and out of the pit end corner, but Mark Pahl moving quite nicely in his red and white Toyota T18. There he goes. We'll see what Kim Colleen can do. Just sitting back there, waiting for, I guess, the proverbial mistake to be made. But it's still Ross Brims leading the way. Quite a handy lead from the rest of the field. Unless something untoward happens to him, he should take out heat number 23. Car number 71. Pahl and Colleen battling it out for second, third. Pahl has the better of Colleen. And then Max Carlin's back there. He's moved quite nicely through the field to be in position number 4. Behind him, Ian Brims, the other one of the Brimses. But it is Tony Brims leading the way at the moment in heat number 23. Brims, then a big gap before we see Mark Pahl and Kim Colleen. Ross Brims producing those good times for 16 seconds. One more lap to go in heat 23. Number 71, Ross Brims. Way in front of the rest of the field. Almost a good half lap. Pahl's up there in second place, but it's Ross Brims across the start-finish line, taking out heat number 23. Car number 32, Mark Pahl will be in for second. Kim Colleen in there for third. Max Carlin comes up next in fourth position, and he's followed along by Ian Brims. But taking out heat number 23, it was car number 71, Ross Brims, getting the break from the rest of the field. And then back a little bit, we saw Mark Pahl come in for second. And
O-Line Video Productions, in conjunction with Riverland Speedway Promotions, hope you enjoyed this video event. For promotion or posterity, O-Line, way to go.